Welcome to Hamim Loyal. This is Eric Grissom.
And I'm Dan Johnson. Eric and I will be rewatching the iconic Twin Peaks from the pilot through the return and everything in between.
If this is your first time watching, or if you're a longtime fan, you can watch along with us as we dive deep into the strange and wonderful world of Twin Peaks.
We live inside a dream.
Today on Meanwhile, we are back for the second part of the Return Part 2. Dan, did you know this aired the same date as Part 1, May 21st, 2017?
I know it because you told me last time. So yes, I do.
Did you also remember, I believe, that Part 3 and 4 were like on Showtime streaming? It was like so neat to remember like what life was like when everyone started having streaming apps, and it was like, how do we get people to sign up or whatever? And that was like if you watched it on TV, it was these two episodes, like cable. But if you had Showtime, whatever it was called, the web version or whatever, you would get the two streaming things. Episode 3 and 4.
Trying to like give stuff away, exclusive content. Now it's like bundling all this stuff again.
Yeah, but speaking of giving away, let's give away the ending of The Return. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about Part 2, and we're going to take it part by part, piece by piece, diving in headfirst into the mystery. We're rocketing blind into the dark. Dan, are you ready? I don't have anything. Oh, it's David Bowie's birthday today when we record this, so happy birthday, Mr. Philip Jeffries, Mr. Bowie, and I miss you, bud.
That's kind of important in this episode. It's fortuitous. All right, let's dive in.
Yeah, what a bad run. If you think about like the last 10 years and how bad the last 10 years were, you've got David Bowie dying in January of 2016, and then David Lynch dying in 2025. It's like, could you imagine if you just had to live through that? Although, actually, 2026 seems pretty awful.
So let's get into Twin Peaks.
Yeah, let's talk about Twin Peaks. That's the whole... Yeah, let's meanwhile, we're here, and everything outside is outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it. Here we go. Hit the button. Start the engine.
Do we shake the crime stick anymore?
Shake the crime stick.
No, we don't do that anymore.
Margaret?
Hawk, where are you walking tonight?
Once again, your log and I are on the same page. There's supposed to be something happening here tonight.
The stars turn, and a time presents itself. Hawk, watch carefully.
I will, Margaret.
I'm too weak to go with you. But stop by. I have coffee and pie for you.
It's gonna have to be after. I'm almost there now.
Please, let me know what happens.
I will, Margaret. Good night, Margaret.
Okay, after a shorter opening, we visit our friend Bill Hastings in jail. And we're not the only people to visit him. Also his wife. The two confront each other over their affairs, and Bill is overcome by the weight of his circumstances. His lawyer, George, arrives, and we see a scorched, dirty-looking prisoner 2 cells over. Oh, I know him. That's my friend Bob, 2 cells over. Dan, what'd you think of this? A lot of stuff going on here. A lot of mystery.
Yeah, this is beginning of an episode that has a ton of the supernatural going on throughout it. So this was a great way to start. We were talking about this in the last episode, but the sound design in this as well. So we have a tight close-up of Bill with his hands on his head trying to understand the situation he's in, completely overcome. And there's this low hum in the background. It's just really unsettling until the guard comes in to let Phyllis in. So it's just like feels like you're inside his head and the buzzing noise of that. I love that design. That's great.
Yeah, in addition to that machine hum, you can hear like his fingers on his scalp. And I have like, if you can watch this with headphones, it's a wonderful experience because you really get taken into this other world. This opening especially, because you mentioned that humming sound, but you hear his fingers on his scalp and you're like in his head. And then as soon as she comes in, everything goes away. And then you're just, it's like, it's a lack of sound. When the sound goes away, you wake up. It's like if you sleep with a white noise machine and somebody unplugs it, you wake up from the silence. In this case, there's commotion going on, but it's really wonderful. Headphones is a must if you can experience it at least once.
You're saying that David Lynch invented ASMR videos.
I don't know if I would listen to this to relax, but
it's not just for relaxation.
It's an experience.
It's for an experience.
Visceral.
That's right. Anyway, we find out there's going to be no bail for Bill. I love seeing, Phyllis. We only got to see her in a couple of scenes in the first episode, and she, could come off as the supportive wife or what have you. But immediately in this scene, their masks come off, and they both are like, "Oh, I know about what's been going on with you. I know what's been going on with you. At least one affair, probably two." It's great just to see the two of them like this. We know that Bill knows what the inside of Ruth's apartment looks like. So he lied to the cops. How dare he? He's going to get caught. Poor Bill. And that he had a dream about being in her apartment that night. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see how that pays off later, if it does. But I love that we're already in that place within the first couple of beats of this episode, already in a place that's a little off. Phyllis walking out of there, she's more than fine with Bill spending the rest of his life in prison. Just that goodbye, Bill, with a smile as she walks out. Wonderful performance, so great. She's so cold.
She's got a great Cornelia Guest, great villain turn.
Yeah.
That you certainly don't see. I didn't see coming.
I didn't.
When you watch it, because you're like, oh, she's worried about the dinner or whatever, and then you're like, oh, this is the real Phyllis has been working with George and a third person who,
Yep, we'll find
for
out.
my money is Mr. C.
I think so.
That absolutely is setting him up and is celebrating his long stay.
His long stay
in jail,
potentially permanent.
Life in prison, Bill. Life in prison.
And Phyllis runs into George, the two of them, he knows, but I'll see you back at my place later. So that's great. She's just like already, how resilient a woman, just ready to move on with her life. You'd love to see that. Panning across us 2 cells down. Forgot to mention the man in black. For some reason in my note, I thought I meant Mr. C. So the man in black, just completely pitch black, like light absorbing, almost as though he's shot in black and white, and the whites of his eyes are so brilliant against that. I love that he's absolutely still, but it's not a freeze frame. Like you can see that it's a real like live shot. Is kind of moving a little bit, but and just the body disappearing, his head goes up in a puff of smoke. Like what is going on? It's immediately so exciting to be like, this is something completely different than anything we've seen with any of the other lodge entities or anything like that. It's just a new thing entirely, and it's so exciting. That's it.
So going all the way back to the opening, because we get a new opening here. you get this like white spotlight or like this glowing orb that moves. It passes over Laura Palmer's face, and it passes over her right eye. And also just in general, so this is it's a little bit from what we saw in part 1, but they removed some of the elements, so it's much shorter. Now the music falling kicks in on the Twin Peaks logo over the trees instead of the portrait of Laura in the trophy case, and we take out all the Twin Peaks stuff. But I would ask you to get your diaries out, write a little note to yourself about a white light, white sort of circular orb, and eyes. We're going to be talking a little bit about eyes, right eyes and left eyes, and all sorts of good stuff. But this one, the sound that you hear and the light going over her right eye.
I need to go back and rewatch that because I thought I saw it, but I thought it was just the sun. I didn't really take any. I just thought it looked pretty, but like
yeah, it's like a spotlight, which is a very big part of Twin Peaks. But Laura and this white light, we're gonna see a bit more of that. As I said, love Phyllis. I think Cornelia Guest is great. I love the shot, the frame shot of them talking to each other in the cell through that little slot where you put your tray of gruel or whatever they're feeding prisoners these days. The way they're just completely framed in that little rectangular slot is wonderful. And I want to talk a little bit about when he says he wasn't there, that he had a dream that he was in her apartment. It was a dream. And we know, of course, we live inside a dream.
I wasn't there. But I had a dream that night. That I was in her apartment.
You were there. Your fingerprints are there.
No, I swear to you. I wasn't there. I swear to you, it was a dream.
Fuck you. You fucking bastard.
And there is the mystery of who killed this woman. Like, is it him? Is this, we've had characters that have done things and they have rewritten their minds to, someone else. Was he possessed at the time? Was he there that night? Because we have to talk a bit about a couple of things, right? So there's this idea of denying reality. I did not do these things. Like, we literally hear Leland say that exact phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And of being denied your reality. And I think of Harold telling Laura, like, oh, Bob isn't real, with him saying, like, I wasn't there. And she's like, your prints are there. And it's like, no, it was a dream. So we have to sort of ask this little mystery here of who killed Ruth Davenport. Now, if you look at, what do we know right now, right? So Bill says he hasn't seen her in a couple of months. We know that's a lie. Wednesday, he says he went home. Thursday was a meeting in the evening. He drove Betty home. Now, he mentions, we talked about it last time, something wrong with her car. This episode, we find out what he's talking about. That's directly tied to Mr. C.
Mm-hmm.
We learn about his plans. They're taking her car. There's something wrong with her car. Going to Jack the mechanic, who's going to wire it up, which we're going to learn about that later. And then he says Friday he went out to dinner, and he implies it's Saturday that he's getting interrogated. So from that line of questioning, we can say she was killed on Thursday, discovered on Friday. He was arrested on Saturday. Laura was also killed on Thursday and discovered on Friday. Which is an interesting thing there. I know what happens based on future parts. So I have an idea of who I think killed her. But at this point, there's two things in this episode where you can say it's Bill Hastings with this whole dream thing, or it's Mr. C, which we'll get to later because we can talk about whether it was him. Just something to think about. Write it in your diary. I love the character of George. He's only in it for a bit. It's Neil Dixon. He was in Inland Empire. Him saying, I know about you and with George and also someone else, it's never explicitly said, but I think it's clear it's Mr. C, especially the way that they interact later, that it's Cooper's doppelganger. I don't know if you agree with that, but it seems...
It's pretty clearly, I think, when we get to the next scene, I think that's what it's supposed to imply, but who knows what's
for real? That's the beauty of The Return, is all the stuff that I'm saying, whether that's true or not, who cares? It's true for me. I love the cop standing there that's just holding the coffee mug, and he's just sitting there and he's drinking and he's not moving. And the camera does this beautiful push in on George when he comes in and she's like, bam, don't walk me out. I'll meet you at home. Love that. And you
Yeah.
talked about the woodsman. The woodsman is not credited, so I don't know what actor played him. Just covered in scorched engine oil. You can see him. He's seemingly like feeding on the pain and suffering that that Bill Hastings is feeling in that cell. It's really wonderful. And the way that he floats up and away, we're going to see other characters do that. It's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump over to the Hastings home where Mr. C is going to kill Phyllis and frame George for her murder.
It was a shock to me. Like I said, how many times do I say this every time? Watching it again for the first time, don't remember anything. But it's a shock to see Mr. C in her home, and she knows him. It wasn't like he's breaking in for some other reason. Like, they know each other, which is crazy. He does say to her, "You did good." So this, what was the plan that was between them? And he instructed her what to do, or was it more that he knew what she would do because of this human instinct? He's just a master of being able to manipulate people, whether it's explicit or just being able to kind of set the pieces up and just watch them fall. Um, when Mr. C shoots Phyllis, which again did not see coming, it's there's an interesting effect. Like whenever she gets shot and the blood sprays, it looks like an in camera trick, but her entire body like wavers for a second.
It's like there's like several. Looks like it to me. It looks like 2 or 3 takes superimposed over each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took some screenshots of that. It's really neat the way that you can see her in different, and you can look at that as different layers, different timelines. Was
we're
she
not
possessed by something that is now leaving her body? But I think of it more like a Formica thing. Multiple layers of stuff going on top of each other here.
I thought that shot was really cool. I wonder if it is several takes of superimposed. I know that in some other shots, it looks like he's doing old school in camera tricks. Like I think there's one where it's just like it looks like it was shot through a mirror or a piece of metallic, and it kind of wavers. So that could be done after in post effects, or it could be just done in camera. I like to think it's all in camera stuff as much as possible because it just makes me. There's no reason why you wouldn't have to. Anyway, it was just a really interesting scene. Mr. C then drops the gun there. So now we see like the completion of this, setting up Bill to take the fall for her murder. And he just kind of skedaddles out of there. It was just unsettling to see. Makes me think of Bob in Leland's Body murdering Maddie. Supernatural, the outsized kind of horror in a domestic setting. Seeing Mr. C in their home like this gives me a very similar feeling of just this horrible, incomprehensible evil that kind of surrounds Mr. C in such a domestic setting is pretty cool too. So I love a return to that sort of idea in this part. But anyway, what do you have on your mind?
The sound work here again continues that amazing like machine like droning that you hear in the background. I absolutely love when she sees him and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And there's like this hit. Mr. C is getting a lot of action.
Oh boy, is he
in episode 2, or part 2 rather. So I like that. You talked about her, him saying, "You did good," exactly like human nature, whatever. I forget the exact line, or you followed human nature perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I take that as, he's manipulating her. He knows what to do. She's doing it. He's setting these things up. And then eventually we'll talk about what his plan is and all that stuff. That's the way I take it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people also see her as being possessed, or even him being possessed, or I don't want to spoil anything coming, but created for the purpose of this. I don't take it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's just the shot, and then that weird thing where you see her in all these different places is very cool. But that's definitely something to think about to know why that happened the way it did. I love that it's such a beautiful shot of her dead body in the doorway of the Hastings home, just lying there, and then we see that close up of her face, and it looks like the exit wound is coming out of her left eye, just as it does for Ruth Davenport. There's lots of things with left and right. I already talked about the glowing orb on Laura on her right eye. There's a lot of stuff with the left eye. Leland placing the letters under the left hand. The one-armed man is missing his left arm. So that's something to pay attention to. That shot, when you see her shot there and it looks like the exit wound's coming out of her left eye, it's like, oh, okay, Mr. C probably killed Ruth, and now he's framing Bill Hastings, and now he's framing the lawyer to get, he's cleaning up his trail or whatever. We'll see if that that pans out. That might not be where my head goes, but it's just something interesting to think about. I don't have anything else on that, so we can jump over to Las Vegas, a brand new setting. Brand new year. It's Las Vegas. It's Nevada. It's Mr. Todd. He's going to give Roger money to hire an unknown woman for a job. And Roger asks about their employer.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this other than, Roger saying to Mr. Todd, why do you let him make you do these things? And Mr. Todd responding something along the lines of, you never want to have a person like this in your life. What I think is most interesting in this scene is the silence throughout it. There's just the two of them are standing, Mr. Todd's sitting at his desk, Roger's standing in front of it, and they're just looking at each other for quite a long time. Everything is just really a lot of room to breathe. It's just a lot of silence throughout the scene. Whenever Roger leaves, the worry on Mr. Todd's face as he's contemplating the situation he's in, it's just so much silence, or just at least no speaking among them. I think that's very cool to do. It just gives a lot of weight to the scene that is otherwise a pretty short one. But tell me what I'm missing in this.
Well, first, I think we should, because there's a lot going on, and it's maybe not as hard to follow if you sort of keep reminding yourself like what's going on. So I want to keep doing that even for myself, just to
Sure.
keep things clear. So we have like a couple of different locations. At this point, we have 4 locations, which is a big departure for Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
4 locations? Yes. New York, Buckhorn, South Dakota, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Twin Peaks, right? So New York is where we have an anonymous billionaire that has hired people to look at a glass box. We've got Buckhorn, South Dakota, where Mr. C and his crew are running around and where this whole Hastings, Ruth Davenport situation is unfolding. And now we've introduced ourselves to Las Vegas, Nevada, and of course, Twin Peaks. We don't need to tell you what Twin Peaks is. We're going to meet Duncan Todd, played by Patrick Fischler, which you'll remember from Mulholland Drive, of course.
Yep.
That's why you're listening to this. He's great. He was also, I just saw him in Mad Men because I'm rewatching Mad Men. He's a very good actor. I enjoy him. And Roger is played by Joe Adler. You talked about, when he says, like, never get involved with someone like him. I find that scene very good. And you really feel the fear of whoever he's working for. Now, I don't know if you have thoughts about who he's working for. Obviously, I can't comment at this point, but we have to, if I'm pretending I've seen this for the first time, you have to ask yourself, is this the anonymous billionaire that has hired those people to watch the box? Is this, we're going to learn later in this episode about Philip Jeffries, and maybe you put that in quotes or not. Like, is it Philip Jeffries? Is it another entity that is involved with this? So it's cool because you get 2 mystery characters, the woman that is getting hired to do the job and the boss. We don't know who either of them are, but it's just cool to hear about it now.
Yeah, for someone like me, it definitely brings to mind Mr. C right away, because if you're going to talk about someone that you don't want in your life, this is the biggest bad that you have right now. And then, we do have a money changing hands. Las Vegas, New York is the billionaire Mr. C. I literally honestly don't remember, so I don't know. So this is, a naive viewer watching it. You could definitely put those pieces together right now.
All right, so let's go back to Buckhorn, where it's always fun to go back to Buckhorn. Mr. C meets his crew at a diner near a railroad crossing, and the 4 discuss what Mr. C wants from Bill Hastings' secretary, if you remember her.
Yeah, small thing, but just waiting for the train to go by and the amount of time that we sit there in the dark just waiting for the train, it's fantastic. This feels like one of those things that is so different being 25 years later on a cable network with longer episodes where David Lynch and Mark Frost were just kind of given freedom. And not to say that it wouldn't have happened on the ABC series, but it would have been harder to do. Just, again, letting us sit there in the atmosphere that's being created, just waiting for an oncoming train. You can't even really see the tracks. Are we on the tracks? Are we going to get hit by, it's just everything feels ominous and then kinetic all at once. It's really great. Just a small moment like that.
Yeah, it makes me think of Fire Walk with Me too, with Miss Tremont and her grandson, when Laura's doing the Meals on Wheels program and she's loading them into the station wagon. You see them standing by the railroad tracks. Just what I think of when I see railroad tracks in Twin Peaks.
Huh.
Not you?
No, such a,
I thought that was everybody.
Everybody. That's pretty obvious, guys. That's great. Well, so we go into the diner.
Oh, one thing before we jump off that, because while I was still talking about the transitions, I love Dwayne Dunham's editing from the motion of the train, because you're watching nothing, and then you're watching the train go, and it cuts to the shot of the motel with a moving car that matches the motion perfectly. It's just a wonderful transition. A+.
Yeah. So now we're in the diner. So we get to meet the newest member of Mr. C's crew, Jack. We get to learn a little bit about the dynamics of the group. We haven't really heard anything from Ray and Daria yet to this point, so now we get to hear a little about them. Mr. C's line about he's not worried about anything. I don't need anything, Ray. I want. What a great line. It's just, I want. And it's so good. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say that I had mentioned this all the way back when we did episode number 6, like that scene with Cooper and Audrey, and he goes on about his wants and his needs.
What I want and what I need are two different things, Audrey.
And our Cooper was about his needs. It's not about what I want, Audrey. Like, he pushes his wants down, and his doppelganger is all want.
I don't need anything, Ray. If there's one thing you should know about me, Ray, it's that I don't need anything. I want.
That's all that he wants is want. And it's such a wonderful mirror of the two Coopers with this wants and needs situation. Just dialogue. I love it.
It's great. It's great. We get Daria sitting next to Cooper on one side of the table. You get Ray and Jack on the other side. Jack is polishing off, I guess, his third dinner. That line of, like, you barely touched your 3 dinners is funny. You just kind of get a sense of who Ray is. And Ray's been trying to get information for Mr. C from Hastings' secretary. We find
Betty.
out that she knows what he knows. So, they're on the trail of some sort of information that we'll find out more about later. That's all I got.
Yeah, so you're at the Bell's Motor Lodge Motel, if you're making notes in your map. So Jack, you get Steve Baker. Daria, we met her. It's Nicole La Liberté. I think I'm getting your name right. And that fucker Ray is amazing. George Griffith. You get a lot of the details of, like, there's a bunch of stuff that gets thrown out here, including that there is some kind of time-sensitive nature that Mr. C is definitely not worried about. So something is happening the day after tomorrow. So there's a ticking clock to why Cooper's doing, or why Mr. C is doing what he's doing, and what's going to happen the day after tomorrow, which is fascinating.
And is this the scene where he says that he's going to be going off and doing something on his own? It's the day after tomorrow.
He says, yeah.
Darius said something about you being worried about tomorrow or the day after.
No, I'm not worried, Ray, about anything.
Well, that's good.
For a while, day after tomorrow, I'll need to be on my own. That might be a good time for you to learn how to mind your own business.
But something is happening, right? There is something that is coming up that we're going to cover in a couple scenes from now, which is awesome. I love, again, Ray Monroe is so great. He's the actor, George Griffith, plays the scenes so well with the way he's kind of not taking Mr. C's shit, like poking him a little bit and like laughing and looking over at Daria the whole time. And he's a really good character. Like, he's a great foil antagonist for this evil Cooper. I think he does like a really good job with this whole scene. And Mr. C is eating creamed corn the whole time, which is great.
Wait, was he?
Yes. So he's eating creamed corn, which is, as we know, creamed corn garmonbozia. He's chowing it down. I love the 3 dinners line. That cracks me up every single time. So we're going to leave and go now to our other location, Twin Peaks, where we're going to go in the dark woods near Pearl Lakes, where Deputy Chief Hawk is going to explore the area around Glastonbury Grove while speaking with Margaret Lanterman. Now, among the sycamore trees is the faint presence of the red curtains.
Yeah, it's just another one of these beautiful shots over the trees. into the woods. We get one of the Twin Peaks standards, single flashlight wandering through the woods at night. It's a classic.
Yeah, very much like that episode 2 where Bobby and Mike are going to meet Leo. Another David Lynch one.
Or more recently in Fire Walk with Me as well. Bobby and Laura in the woods. It's great. It's just really like, oh, we're in Twin Peaks. Of course, there's a person in the woods. Gosh, every time Margaret Lenterman is on the screen, it's wonderful. The way that she says Hawk every time, Hawk, like it's just. Anyway, she's wonderful. Hawk, where are you walking tonight? The stars turn and time presents itself. Hawk, watch carefully. I love these pieces as Hawk kind of gets into Glastonbury Grove and we're. This is the most we're really following Hawk around because we really didn't get a whole lot of that in the first season. So having him be in the center of this part of the action is really fantastic. And we do get that kind of faint, not, I guess it isn't all that faint, but you get the red curtain superimposed over Glastonbury Grove, like you said. So kind of Hawk getting involved in the mystery here is terrific. Yeah. Tell me all the things that I missed.
Okay, so like first off, like her just saying, where are you walking tonight? Like she is connected to everything. And I love that about Margaret Lanterman and the Log Lady. Hawk also says that there's supposed to be something happening here tonight. Like he seems to sense this, like he knows he's on this quest that connects to both his heritage and to Cooper.
Yep.
And like, so this location is where Cooper appeared after the events of episode 29, sort of where everything went wrong with Cooper. So it's kind of neat to see Hawk intuitively, like knowing something is supposed to happen here. Like he's also connected to this thing that's happening in a way that's not, no one really told him to go to, at least on camera. And I love that. The Log Lady's line about the stars turn and a time presents itself, that's also the quote that becomes the quote title of this episode. And it is something to think about a lot, right? Because like stars can be seen as celestial bodies, but stars are also performers. Like, and there comes a time when the stars turn into characters. And that usually happens at the start of a play and also at the curtain call when they turn from the actors to the performers. And then at the curtain call, they turn back to the actors. And if you consider like the tour going around right now, which I saw, it's called Twin Peaks Conversation with the Stars. So that idea is something that we're going to revisit later. Just love thinking about that and thinking about that connected to what the Log Lady says here. When she says, I'm too weak to go with you, like if that doesn't break your heart into a billion pieces, because it's the Log Lady saying it and it's Catherine Coulson saying it.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's so hard. And then when she also invites him over for coffee and pie, I do sort of wish she had offered cookies because we know that Hawk likes cookies.
I've got tea. I've got cookies. No cake.
Well, that's very kind of you, ma'am, but I don't believe that... What kind of cookies?
Sugar. The owls won't see us in here.
Spotlight, I love the way that the spotlight is used as a thing that reveals this other world, and the way that the spotlight passes over those trees and you start to see the red curtains, which of course are located in the Black Lodge, because that's where we're going next, Dan, in the Black Lodge.
Just the last thing, just to the very literal sense, I think you're the way that you're thinking about stars and time presents itself is really interesting. The literal part being that it is everything that we learned at the Wyndham Earle section of the second season of the planets have to align at a certain time, and that's when the opening at Glastonbury Grove becomes possible. So that has to be the literal reading of this as well. And Margaret having that knowledge about it, Hawk having the intuition about it, going back to this place, and that time synced up so that the curtains would appear and that this barrier between the worlds is permeable. That's all. I just want to come back to that.
I forgot to, with time too, like when you do like if I'm going to shoot a scene and you're going to be in it and you're the star of my thing.
Go on.
There is a time when you turn from Dan into whoever the character is I've written and now I'm filming you. And then you're locked in that time forever. You're like that time of you in that movie. Like I'm talking about a show that came out in 2000 and 17.
Mhm.
We talked about a show that came out that moment in time is forever like repeating and skipping, and so that's also part of the whole when the stars turn and then there's a time. A time presents itself, as it were. All right, so let's go over to the Black Lodge where we'll get weirder. Agent Cooper speaks with some old friends. You got the one-arm man, Laura Palmer, and the new arm. And he learns about some more rules, a lot of rules in this place, Dan. You can't just leave.
No, man. So we got the one-armed man again with the famous line: "Is it future or is it past?" And this he says, "Someone is here," and then the one-armed man disappears. What I think is so interesting in different places, the way that people appear and disappear. We see the woodsman in the beginning scene kind of float away into a puff of
Float up.
smoke. The way that Cooper in the opening scene in the first part, that kind of whatever it is, kind of sketchy dissolve thing that he does as well. And this, I love the kind of, again, this dream logic of like, if you look away and look back, the person's just missing. Anyway, the one-arm man is gone there. And someone is here, Laura coming in. God, it's so wonderful just to see her, this character, this version of Laura, whoever this is it actually Laura, this version of her at least, coming in. Again, just seeing that juxtaposition of 25 years of time of having passed. Coming in, says, "Hello, Agent Cooper. You can go out now. Do you recognize me?" Is great. There's something, there's the reverse speech and everything, and there's the backward snap and all that. Something for me with her performance, the way that the reverse blinking, is there something so magical about that? I don't know. It's just a small thing caught my eye. It always does. But the way that she blinks in reverse is just, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. I just love it. This part is just so confusing to me. And I will always be confusing. Cooper saying, "Are you Laura Palmer?" She repeats the line that we've seen in the first season of the show. "I feel like I know her, but sometimes my arms bend back." And he asks again, "Who are you?" "I am Laura Palmer. But Laura Palmer is dead. I'm dead yet alive." Like all of this, like, is she Laura Palmer? Is she not Laura Palmer? Um, she's the arm's cousin. Doesn't he say that at one part? "Did my cousin? She looks just like Laura Palmer." Like all of that is just all mixed together. It's hard. I love it, but I'll never make sense of it entirely. Or maybe we will by the end of we'll have at least something to hold on to by the end of this season. Yeah, it's just such a messes with my head so much, this section, in such a good way. I really, really love that. So we get the two of them talking, and then this incredible moment of Laura bringing her hand up to her face, and she just removes it like a mask. And I love the white line that peels around the edges of it, and she just holds her face and brings it to the side, and it reveals that blinding, like this pure white light. Cooper's look is incredible. It's a look of awe. His mouth opens as like he's about to speak, but he's stunned. Doesn't even know what to say. I get it. I feel the same. It's amazing, but it's just that's an unexpected thing. Wouldn't have seen that coming at all. It's just this version of Twin Peaks is taking everything to another level and just adding so much more on top of it. That it's incredible. So from there, Cooper asking, "When can I go?" And we get this kind of repeated, again, doubling of things. This Laura coming over, leaning in, smiling, kisses Cooper and whispers in her ear. And Cooper's sigh, like, oh man, the look on his face. I don't know what you take from it. Is it he's finally learned something, or something has kind of clicked for him, or it's something that's just emotionally affected him? Whatever that sigh is, it's just what a performance. I guess is kind of an understatement to say for Kyle MacLachlan, like duh. But it's really great because you don't get that in the original kind of version through that, where it's just this mystery and we want to know what's going on. But here it feels like something more has happened. There's even more weight to it. So I just love the repetition of some of these scenes. It's just really excellent. And then from there, she stands, and they both look to the ceiling or up into the where the ceiling would be. Who knows if there's actually a ceiling there? And this part is just incredible. If Laura's scream with the white eyes, the possession scream that she has, this is along the same lines of that sort of level of like a gut punch. When she's standing there screaming, everything shakes, she's shaking, and then flies off into the air, just leaving Cooper there. Says, again, never see any of this coming. You'd never expect this to like, oh my God. It's these moments just leave you kind of like breathless.
Have you watched them shoot this?
No, I haven't seen anything behind the scenes at all.
Oh, I definitely recommend. You can find it. Usually people share little snippets of it. If you can watch David Lynch shooting Cheryl Lee while they make that part, it's amazing. It's
I'm going to have to go look for it right after.
That whole thing you got to watch anyway. Just seeing David Lynch react to Cheryl Lee coming out in costume because they haven't seen it. You know, it's very emotional. It's very cool. But you can watch him shoot that particular scene.
Is that on a Z to A as well?
Yeah. It's on Z to A. I don't have Z to A, but that has all the return, right? Yeah, that's probably everything. So I'm assuming it's on there. But you can find it on YouTube. I mean, if you look, you can.
No, it's just one of those things. Like I eventually will get it, but yeah,
I'm sure it's on Z to A. Yeah, I think that has everything that's on.
From there, we get the wind through the curtains, blowing them all away. We reveal behind the curtains just this black expanse that seems to go on forever. The zigzagged floor keeps going out and out and out and fades into this blackness. And then we have this, what seems to be like spotlighted, the white horse off in the distance as well. Everything is just like kind of reverberating in the darkness. It's just... Again, I don't know how to say it. I'm being really inarticulate with this, but it's just every part of this is just one thing, notched up, thing after thing that's just mind-blowing to me. So maybe you could make more sense of it and be more articulate of what we're seeing here. But to me, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, I'll try. I don't know. Yeah, I've certainly got my own opinions on it. I'm going to keep going back to similar ideas, but that's just how I feel. These are my ideas, people. I'm gonna talk about them. So I love the minimal use of music here. I think it works really well. It's got the audio design. I like when it's a lot of Angelo music, but I do appreciate just the sounds, like the strange sounds that are going on this whole time. And we get to see Mike, Al Strobel again. Now, his left eye is nearly closed and his right eye is wide. Like, is this a natural occurrence within the body of Al Strobel, of the actor's body, or is it something intentional given all the connections we are making to the left eye and how the left eye is clearly different than the right eye in this scenario? And as far as I know, he doesn't have a glass eye. There's no, you see pictures of him outside of this, it doesn't look like that. So I find that fascinating. Like the man from another place, like he's saying, is this future or is this past, which is a question for us as observers. Is this happening in the past or the future? But for the observer, there is only ever now. Like there is no future and past. There is only sort of what we're experiencing right now. So that idea of like relativity, when you're moving through time and you're only ever really where you're at. So there really is no future and past, even though we're asking, are we? The only way you know future and past is from looking at a timeline. I love that. Okay, so before telling Cooper someone is here, like he disappears. You talked about that, not a flyaway. I see this as like a time jump or like some kind of jump because we go back to this moment. So it's like he's here as his future as a past. Then we go into a scene that sort of occurred in the past. It's the same kind of conversation between Laura and Cooper that happened all the way back in episode 2.
I feel it. Yeah, I know her. But sometimes me and I'm bent back.
So is this future or past? Bam, we're into this scene. Bam, we come back out right to him repeating the same thing. So it's like this little loop in a timeline that's going on here. I love seeing Cheryl Lee as Laura again. Like their entire dialogue is great. When she talks about I am Laura Palmer's dead, I am dead.
Yes, yeah,
is because she is forever, right? She exposes her inner being, which is this bright white light. We talked about the bright light that you see in the opening credits of her. This is her soul. It's the same sound you hear when she opens her face. As that you hear in the opening when that spotlight passes over. It's this Same type of like musical thing. Cooper asks, when can I go? Which is interesting given when as a designation of time,
Right.
which we'll get into when he re-enters the story, at which point that's going to be. I love watching them kiss and do that kiss after so many years. And you talked about when she whispers in his ear. And the first time around, she said the answer to the question, who killed Laura Palmer, right? She says,
My father killed me.
my father killed me, which destroys the mystery of the show. And some could argue that led to the premature cancellation of the show. There is this idea of explanation being the death of mystery, which I am going to equate, and I do equate to Judy. Like, we're going to talk about Judy. We're not going to talk about Judy. This idea of Judy is the death of mystery. It's the explanation. And the result of her whispering, my father killed me, and telling us the answer removes Laura from the story. Like, she's literally torn out of the scene, like ripping pages out of a diary. And if you think of it that way, and then we go back, and it's him saying this.
Is it future or is it past?
This idea, you start presenting with this idea of like two timelines of with Laura, without Laura, and what happens when we find out the mystery and her being ripped out. I absolutely love that.
It just makes me think of there's just a meme of David Lynch being interviewed, and the interviewer says, elaborate on that. And it's just David Lynch smiling and says, no.
Believe it or not, Eraserhead is my most spiritual film.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate on that.
No, I won't.
And I just I love that idea. Like, you're absolutely right. This idea of over-explaining or even providing the explanation for it is the thing that's going to kill all of the mystery, all of the story,
right.
all of the... And if you do that, like, we wouldn't be talking about it 25 years later,
sure.
or whatever it is. It's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, is she alive or is she dead? She's both. She's Twin Peaks. I can play it right now, and I can see her dead on a beach, or I can put on Fire Walk with Me, and I can spend the last 7 days with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's alive and dead at the same time, because there is no past, there is no future. It's all these moments of now. So, yeah, she lives forever because they made art, and that art is Twin Peaks, and Twin Peaks is forever. So we're sort of looking at the purity and the joy and the wonder of this wonderful idea and saying, yes, I'm here, and it's bright, and it's wonderful, and it's forever. I'm alive and dead at the same time. The horse is interesting, right? So you see this horse, and it's like we see the horse in episode 14 before Maddie dies. We saw it in Fire Walk with Me before Leland attacks Laura. It is a big signifier in this world, and we're sort of like passing, like he's moving past it, which I find very interesting. It's like we're moving past death in a way, and then we go right back to where we were before with Mike asking us again, is this future, is this past? So it's like the horse is the Palmer mystery, and then we've destroyed the Palmer mystery and removed Laura. Now we're moving past it and saying, is this all happening yet?
Now we see the one-armed man by the curtain, beckons Cooper over, and they go into a curtained hallway, into the room, and in there is the arm. But this time we don't see the man from another place. Instead, we see this, what looks like an electrified tree branch with a chewing gum head on top of it.
I mean, it looks like, to me, the type of sycamore trees in Glastonbury Grove. So I'm just going to assume it's that type of tree.
Yeah, I mean, but it also, it looks like it's electrified. To me, it's like a brain stem and nerve endings.
Sure. Yeah.
But absolutely looks like a tree. It honestly looks like a student art project with a tree with a chewing gum on top. But I love the repeating of those lines of I'm the arm and I sound like this, and does the woo. Fantastic, but just coming from a slightly different voice out of a completely different looking being. Amazing. The arm says to Cooper, do you remember your doppelganger? We get that entire flashback with evil Cooper and Bob laughing, the entire chase scene. Oh, it's just like that was so chilling, and to bring all of that back again is wonderful. And then we get the instruction that he must come back in here before you can go out. It's great. You get that. I don't know. It's setting up again, like you said. There's rules, so now we know at least we have an idea of what needs to happen in order for Cooper to be able to get out of the Black Lodge.
Yep. Yeah. So Laura sort of said, when he talks about when can I go back, so you can think it's a time that he has to go back, and yes, this whole idea that evil Coop's got to go in order for him to come out. You can't really have two birds with one stone, as it were. All right, so we're going to jump over to I don't have anything else to say about that. Tree is cool. I certainly like the Man from Another Place as we knew him, but this is also wild.
It's nuts.
Like,
it's
if you're going to replace an actor, this is how you replace an actor. He's evolved. I love it. All right, so we're going to go over the storage facility for a wonderful scene with Jack and Mr. C doing a little face work. Jack's going to lock up Mr. C's previous car and give him the keys to a new car. So, a little car swap.
I feel like I must have missed a bunch of what's happening, like what's actually happening here, because all I can fixate on is the face smushing that happens for
really
30 seconds.
That's all you really need to.
It says so much, like the complete domination that Mr. C has over the people around him, and the Jack's expression goes from this subservience to almost enjoying it, maybe enjoying the thing that's happening to him, like he's in his place, like this is how he's supposed to be, or is he recognizing that he's about to get killed and he's accepting it? Like it just feels like there's so much going on there that I can't entirely read, but it goes on for at least 30 seconds.
It goes on for a while.
Rubbing his face.
Feels more like bullying to me, but I don't know. It's a weird scene. I find it kind of amusing because it goes on for so long. But yeah, it's like, it's one of those scenes where there's a lot of details in it that don't really make that much sense to me. I mean, I guess the idea is Cooper's going away. We know something's happening, and he's switching cars.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the same car or whatever. But it's not like a huge piece of all this talk about Jack wiring the car for Betty. I mean, is it her? Was Cooper driving her, or Mr. C driving her car? I don't think so. I mean, it's the same car he was driving when he picked them up. It was just interesting.
Right. I guess that's why I started getting a little confused. Like, did I miss something because you're talking about the Betty and the cars? Like, is that connected at all, or was this really?
Yeah, we know Jack is a mechanic of some kind. Yeah. He's wiring the car, Hastings' secretary's car, but they're also switching cars.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
it's fine. It's just you get to watch him just play with his face. I think that's all the precursor to murder.
Fantastic.
Hey, welcome to the midpoint. This time we're doing it live. Dan, say something.
Hey, I'm live. Today's newspaper.
You knew it's happening live. It is David Bowie's birthday. We're here to shout out the wonderful Black Lodge supporters that have taken us into the return. I hope you're enjoying the return so far. We're in the middle of doing episode 2. No, part 2 now, and I'm loving it. But I hope, you know who else I hope is loving it, Dan?
Who?
Chuck Suffel, Gregory Flanagan, Dawn Adamo, Banjo Track, Eric Knopp, Charlie Tapper, Jake Jagello, Matthew Fuller, and David Melito. Guys, ladies, I hope you're all loving the return. If you want to be like them and get your name shouted out, you go over to our Patreon, which you can find. You can go to ericrissom.com/meanwhile. There's a link on there. You go over there, you can pay the $5 tier, get your name read, or if you just want to be in the shadows, like Major Briggs, you can just do any of the other tiers. You'll get great podcasts, secret stuff. All right, let's get back to it. Mr. C surprises Daria at the Bell's Motor Lodge Motel and reveals that he had recorded her conversation with Ray, and he knows she was going to kill him. He tells her he killed Jack, and he shows her what he wants, then also kills her. A lot of people he's knocking people off left and right. This is the third person that Mr. C kills in this episode, and I don't even think it's halfway through.
Oh, man. Daria, lady, You're lying to Mr. C to his face. It just doesn't seem like the smartest thing the person could do. She says she was talking to Jack on the phone right before Mr. C came into the motel room. You knew as soon as he walked in, he knew what was up. Poor Daria. This does not go well for her. And this entire section of Daria asking, "Are you going to kill me?" And he says, "Yes." God, what a scene. The two of them, him kind of with his arm around her throat on the bed together. She knows for certain she will not be leaving that room. So this entire scene is just so tense the entire way through. I love that tension just built into it. We find out that Ray says he's in a federal prison in South Dakota. He says he's calling Daria on a burner. This is Mr. C playing the recording of that. Ray got another call, he says, from Jeffries saying that Daria has to kill Cooper the next night. So hearing Jeffries' name is pretty exciting. Get that right there. And we get it saying that another, so like they're in cahoots there, something's going on. Really exciting. I said this before in the first part when we have Sam and Tracy talking to each other in New York City, and how Sam just keeps repeating her name. Mr. C does that a lot throughout all of this. It's always yes, Daria, or whatever. He's just always using the name. It's just such an interesting way of speaking. Mr. C wants to know who hired Ray and Daria to kill him, but she said he never told her that. I don't think Mr. C believes her. Also doesn't believe that Ray was just picked up for the gun charges. The line when he says the game begins, awesome. The look of like excitement and anticipation in his cold black snake-like eyes is really cool. Like, yeah, this is something bad, that could kind of screw things up, but he's also really down for it. I love that. Yeah, anyway, so we find out that Mr. C was supposed to get pulled into the Black Lodge the next day, but he has a plan, he says, to avoid it. So the scene that we just saw previously, hopefully these things can line up and we can get our Cooper out, but it seems like he's got other plans for this. Mr. C shows Daria a playing card. It's an ace of spades. It's got a big black circle scribbled on it with it looks like two little horns coming off on either side and big scratches across the paper above and below on the card. He says, "Have you ever seen anything like this? Anyone ever shown you this?" He says, "This is what I want." It's about what's on the playing card. And then finally Daria says, "Are you going to kill me now?" And Mr. C says, "Yes, Daria." Man, and then she tries to get away and just like that whole action, and finally, pillow over the face and kills her. God, what an incredible scene. So not only do we get Jeffries, we get the backstory, we get this new mystery of this, what this playing card was to symbolize, but then the violence on top of that, get this set up from the very moment that she gets caught on the phone all the way through to this point. Just keeps getting the tension keeps building, and it gets released at the end whenever he kills her. Amazing. And the scene's not even over yet. That's just the first part of it. It's incredible. Your turn. Tell me what you think.
First off, this starts with this beautiful long shot of the South Dakota skyline. It's like this really extreme long shot, and there's all this thunder and electricity before that's the entryway into this scene is so awesome. And so when you go in, first off, the room is very neat. I like the way that they decorated the set. There's 2 pictures of fish on the wall, which is just a little nice touch. But the way that they choose to let us as viewers in on her conversation before Mr. C enters. So we know she's working against Cooper, and you immediately know that he knows, or that there's so much pent up violence in everything that he says, in every way that he carries himself. You're just waiting for it to explode. There's no question that he is not going to go off, that she's going to get away with it. At least for me, it's you're just waiting for this horrible, violent thing to happen to this woman. So Ray never shows up. You talked about that. He was supposed to meet with Mr. C. He mentions he's in a federal prison, and we're in South Dakota. It makes me think of Fire Walk with Me and sheriff's brother being in federal prison, whatever. He is very suspicious of this whole federal prison thing. It's he understands some of this stuff, but the federal prison thing is this mystery that he hasn't figured out yet. It's this unknown variable in all of his plans that he didn't foresee coming, which I think is neat. I love that Mr. C has a modern tape recorder to Cooper's old tape recorder, and it even makes that rewind sound when he's going back and forth on his digital file. I love it. You mentioned Jeffries. As soon as you hear Jeffries, you're like, holy shit, it's the first time we're hearing about David Bowie's character since Fire Walk With Me. It's very exciting. I love that Mr. C says,
I'm supposed to get pulled back into what they call the Black Lodge. But I'm not going back there. I've got a plan for that one.
I'm getting pulled back into what they call the Black Lodge. They're calling it the Black Lodge. Like whoever, like it's got like a different name or it means something else to him. Like who's the they that refer to this as Black Lodge? Like it's this older mythology than words have been applied to or whatever. I like just that him saying they call it the Black Lodge. I love that stuff. And he's got a plan. We're going to see that plan play out very soon. So you got to pay attention to that. He wants things, right? So he wants coordinates. And he wants coordinates. That's the thing that he's trying to get from Bill Hastings, essentially, via Bill Hastings' secretary, because she knows what he knows, and Bill, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what does it have to do with Ruth? What does it have to do with Bill Hastings? And what does it have to do with this assistant? Which
I can't believe I skipped over that entirely when I was just talking through that too, because it is that a funny slash sad moment when he says, "Does she know about the coordinates?" And she doesn't even know what the word coordinates means, and he has to even explain that to her. Yeah. I mean, it's just even that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't even know how I skipped over that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Right. So then you get the ace card, which to me reminds me of like the owl symbol, right? It's the circle thing with those two little peaks that look like ears or whatever. Just interesting. This is what I want. Again, wants versus needs. You think about Cooper and Audrey. It's so violent when the whole scene is violent. It's pent up violence, and then it's just kinetic violence exploding everywhere. When he shoots her in the side of the head, and then he looks and you see like her brain's blown out on one side. It's so striking. And then he goes to wash up and you get this shot of Daria lying on her back on the bed, her head obscured by a pillow, which immediately you think of the bodiless head of Ruth Davenport lying on her bed in part one. And here is a headless body of a young woman. And we have the head of a young woman. And those two things complementing each other. Crazy scene, wild scene. So second part of this scene, so he's going to now contact the person he believes to be Philip Jeffries. And he is told that by this Philip Jeffries, in quotes, that Mr. C is going to be going back to the Black Lodge and that Philip will be with Bob again. Mr. C then uses the FBI's computers to download information on Yankton Federal Prison, where supposedly Ray is.
Yep. So we got Mr. C comes in after washing his hand, brings in this large briefcase from the bathroom. It opens up on the table, and it's got the device. And I love the look of it. It's this device with these big, thick red wires coming out of it. It's like both high tech and not at the same time, but it looks really cool. He gets this, what's, I guess, we presume like an encrypted radio call or something from someone claiming to be Philip Jeffries. He says he knows that Mr. C is in Buckhorn, missed him in New York. And Mr. C asks if Philip is still nowhere, which I think is a great line. Are you still nowhere? Terrific, because where have we left him? And Philip says, alludes to what we read in Mark Frost's book. You met with Major Garland Briggs. So we get these things actually connecting up. Now, there's some question or conversation that we had around how much of these things are Mark Frost and David Lynch, and the combination of the two. I like when these things do kind of line up as well. So you met with Major Briggs. We find out that it may not actually be Jeffries. So Mr. C has some questions about who this actually is. And he says, you're going back in tomorrow and I'll be with Bob again. I don't know. Like, yeah, this is it. So every scene just unearths more questions and more questions and more questions. So I love that we have layers of mysteries that are getting built up. Even within one scene, we're just getting more of these things. From here, it's just one of these production things. I don't understand. I'm sure it's fine. It's stylized, whatever. The people who do the visual effects, have they ever used a computer before? Because this is not how computers work. I love to think like it comes up on the FBI website and it's static, and then it shows up on the website. It's just these funny things that kind of take me out for a moment. But anyway, we get Mr. C in there. He's searching for information about the federal prison. And he downloads it looks like he's downloading the schematics for the prison, right? Is that what it is? Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of, it's like pretty much to me, is like everything you would ever want to know about this prison.
This Yankton Federal Prison in South Dakota.
From the download button. That he doesn't even click, and then it just starts going off. It's great.
Again, it's like, this is not how computers work at all, but
It's
in this
fine,
world,
yeah.
I guess maybe that is how they do it. All right, then I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, already you hear about Jeffries, and then you get a call from Jeffries, and it's a different voice. Not that it's not David Bowie, but they're not even trying to do the Southern accent.
Right.
The voice also is uncredited. It was provided by Dean Hurley, who was the supervising sound editor that worked with Lynch on this. But so you as a viewer are like, this is not Jeff. Like, they have someone else play Jeffries. They're not even doing the. And then even Cooper or Mr. C starts figuring out. He's like, who is this? When Philip says you're late, missed you in New York, she immediately starts thinking about the anonymous billionaire. Now, the only reason we're saying there's an anonymous billionaire is because, what's the guy's name? Blanking on the guy's name.
Mr. Todd?
No.
Oh,
That's
Sam.
in Vegas. Sam. Yeah, because the only reason you even know there's an anonymous billionaire is because Sam said, I don't know, some anonymous billionaire. So we don't even know if that's 100% true information, but we know New York, we know the box. And now we're hearing I missed you in New York. It also suggests that Mr. C and Jeffries, real or imposter, are working together in some capacity. So they already had a scheduled meeting. You're late for this call. They've already been talking. So, and we know, like, Jeffries is trying to kill Cooper, or I keep calling him Cooper.
Yeah.
Jeffries is trying to kill Mr. C. So there's this whole weird dynamic between these two. And him saying, like, you met with Major Garland Briggs, which you talked about his last entry saying Mayday. We know that also his dossier was discovered at a crime scene. So there's lots of stuff with Briggs that we'll have to get to. Mr. C doesn't know how Jeffries would know this, and that's when he starts questioning his identity. So if Cooper comes out, then Mr. C goes in, right? We know this. We learned that from Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeffries, or whoever this is, wants that to happen. So he wants Mr. C to go in because he wants to be with Bob again.
And where does he want it? Does he want to go into the lodge to be with Bob there, or does he want Bob to get let out?
I think he right now, Mr. C is in our world, Cooper's doppelganger.
Yep.
Bob's riding along, ride or die with him.
Right.
So he wants Mr. C to go in so that Bob could ride with him.
Oh, like, I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
But then the thing for me is the word again.
Yes.
Which means who had the spirit of Bob before Leland? That would be this person. So, like, because we know Leland's with Bob until the events of, unless I guess it could have been somebody that had Bob in between Leland dying when Bob went off and Cooper going into the Black Lodge and then leaving with Bob. So it's possible, I guess it could have been that, or it was before Leland's. But in either case, it's interesting of the use of the word again.
Although the other person that we know that had that relationship wasn't Bob riding around inside him, but the one-armed man, Gerard, as his partner as well. Like, is it a literal, like, I want to be with Bob again because I want him, like, inside possessing me, or they want to go off? Is it another lodge entity? Is it something else? I don't.
Yeah, it could be. I see it as I see it as taking. He's not going to ride with you. He's going to ride with me. But yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. If you were wondering if I wrote down all the weird shit that they put in the computer, I did. It's got to be nonsense. I'm not going to read it all here. If you want to, you can message me. I'll literally tell you that he logs in with KDHGW, and then he searches for SDI04, whatever. I've got all of it. I've got the org code and the name, and there's so many numbers. Whatever. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, SD is at South Dakota, and then and it's the fourth thing, whatever. But once he has access, he grabs all those files, and he goes next door. So next door, Mr. C is now going to visit with Chantel. He wants her to clean up the murder scene and then get her husband Hutch for an upcoming job. So he's got another crew. He's getting rid of this crew. He's got another crew.
How many crews does this man have? As Mr. C leaves Daria's room and heads to the room next door, we see that Daria was in room 6, going over to room 7. As we mentioned, we were talking about Fire Walk with Me, the 6 on the electrical poles in the trailer park, 7 on the elevator as well. 6, 7 is just very big right now.
So yeah, you talk about Fire Walk with Me 6 and then the 7, whatever. But there's also, if you remember the cameras too, there are 6 cameras around the glass box. The 7th one is behind the viewers, Sam and Tracy. And if you consider the box itself as a camera, that's 8. 8 on its side is an infinity symbol, which is a fan spinning right and round. It is a skipping record. Forever loop. 6, 7. Right? If the devil was 6, then God is 7, and we are 8. So, all right, you can go on. Go on with Chantal.
You're gonna run out of red string. All right, we got Chantal. Oh shit, played by
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. Oh, my God, seeing her on the screen too. It's like it is so exciting. Honestly, it doesn't take me out at all. Love seeing these big stars in this show, and what a role for her as well. Because I feel like it's kind of against type for her too. But the way that she's just like leans out and brings Cooper into the room, she's got a gun with her already. The place is, she's apparently been there for a while. It's just full of trash and everything.
I love that thing that the room is filthy. It's filthy. It's trash. Junk food everywhere. And he's saying clean up in room 6. Like, I love the irony of him telling her to clean up next door when the room is completely trash.
Yep. Just got to get rid of bodies. You can leave the garbage around. That's fine. So this is Chantal. Her husband's in Hutch, and they work for Mr. C. He says that they're going to need them in certain areas in a few days, so something to do with the coordinates probably. And then the scene ends on the most disgusting line I've ever seen Mr. C say. As Chantal comes over and stands in front of him, he runs his hand up her thigh and says, "Oh, you're nice and wet."
You didn't need to say it, but yeah.
No, I'm going to say it again. He says, let me repeat. I think it is important for the characters to see this relationship.
It's very important. It's the opposite of Cooper.
Yeah.
Look at Cooper not finding a naked Audrey Horne in his bed and ordering up French fries and malts. Like, this is how.
And she's an innocent Audrey, and this is Chantal, obviously, and Daria the opposite, and he's drawn to those people as well.
He feeds into all of his vices.
Light and dark, the absolute opposites of each other in every way, and the people he surrounds himself with as well. Yeah, it's horrible, but it's great. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and we know she's married to Hutch, and he's still like, and he, even though he murdered Daria, they were hooking up, like she's in his bed, like, so he's literally killing, murdering, sleeping with Hastings' wife as well. I was going to call him Phyllis. Although I think Phyllis, honestly, could have syphilis after Mr. C. I see what was going on with Beulah's house. All right, so we're going to go back in the lodge. The man from another place, who I guess I should call the arm, tells him a series of numbers, repeats Bob, 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 and tells him to go.
So the arm says to Cooper, 253, time and time again. As Eric says, write down your notebook. And I literally have it written down in my notebook for later. We'll see what that comes to.
Or write it in your diary. We could be on brand.
That's true. But Cooper's notebook.
That's what Annie tells Laura in bed, write in your diary. So that's what we should do.
The arm, the little mouth on the side of the chewing gum head just cracks me up. I think it's great, but I love that it's this little speaking little purr. And it says, Bob, 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 go now. So Cooper follows the one-armed man out of the room down a hall. Whenever Cooper opens the curtain, he's following Mike into that hallway. But when he opens the curtain, everything kind of slows down for a second right there. And Mike is also not in that hallway at all at that point. And then Cooper comes towards the camera and goes to open the curtains on the other side. And at that point, we hear this like static sound, this electricity sound. And he can't get through the curtain. There's like a hard cut right there, like a blink almost. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like he's in 2 different positions back to back there. So there's this weird hard cut that happens at that moment. So something significant's happening there, and Cooper heads back into the same room they came from, which is now empty instead, and crosses to go out the other side of the room. So people appearing, disappearing. Mike was there, but now he's gone. Cooper can't get through the the exit that he's supposed to go to, comes back, and now he's in a different room or the same room, but the arm is gone. Just that whole crazy logic of the lodge is playing havoc here.
Yeah, stuff we've seen in episode 29 too, where he would go into rooms and then go back to rooms, and it was a different room. And I love well, first off, 253, time and time again. So that is something definitely to pay attention to, and time and 253 and what you can do with that. The first time that, like, when he first goes and he tries to open the thing and you hear the scratching sound, it's like you already know something's wrong, right? Like, you can't go forward. He can't go forward. He has to go back to go forward. And he's got to go back, and then that's when he's going to see Leland Palmer shortly, which I think is right now, which is like, he's to go forward, he's got to return to the source of this mystery, which is Laura Palmer, which is where we're going to go now. So he's going to see Leland Palmer. He's going to find a lodge door that opens over a highway where his doppelganger is driving. And when that occurs, all hell breaks loose. So,
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think of seeing Gold Ray Wise again?
Yeah, it's great to see him even just for a moment here. So now he's in this room. Leland is sitting in a chair and speaks backwards, saying, "Find Laura," which is great. And the look on his face. Ray Wise is on the screen for 10 seconds and gives an incredible performance. I mean, just amazing. The look of like pain in his eyes and pleading. And that's it. He's just there for a couple of seconds. Amazing.
Yeah, when I saw them, the conversation with the stars, he makes fun of this a lot because
why?
This is all he was in. He was like, I came back for the return, and I got one freaking line. I'm in it for 1 second. Like, he wanted to be in it for more. So it was very funny, him talking about this, how that's all he got is like one freaking take of him saying, "Find Laura," and that's it. And he's like, "What the hell, David?" Like, so it was very cool to see that. Very funny.
I think it's great for the fans watching. Everyone, it's worth it. For us. Cooper then walks through what appears to be nothing, or like another curtain. Just this weird like hard cut where he comes between worlds, that he's the room starts doubling. It's a really great effect, like the way that the shot was lined up. So you have the static shot of the curtains of the zigzag, and then it's superimposed with another one that's kind of shifting back and forth, and it starts pulling forward. And as you watch, like the lines on the floor overlap and combine, it's a beautifully composed shot. It must have been technically difficult.
And this is where I also see like these are like two timelines on top of each other.
Literally doubling. Yeah. Everything is doubling. From there, we see Cooper continue to walk through the Black Lodge. We get these close-up zooms on the female statue a couple of times, which at the time of like, all right, that's interesting. I don't know why we're doing that, but you get them zoomed and framed importantly there. Cooper finally finds an exit through the curtains and looks out. And the strangest thing you would ever expect to have happen, he's looking out over a highway in the desert. And you see Mr. C coming driving towards him. He's almost like suspended in air like a bridge. You guys have all seen this. I don't need to explain the shot. You've seen it. But it's the craziest thing. That is, again, everything at Twin Peaks. Everything keeps ratcheting up. You wouldn't expect these things to happen. And it's just like, again, mind-blowing. Like, really? That's a thing that could happen. And you have this close-up of Mr. C just cruising down the highway. I just want Cooper to jump right out into his backseat right there. Just get the fuck out. But before he can, the female statue that they kept showing turns into the doppelganger of the arm.
Yeah, the arm's doppelganger. Don't forget about the arm's doppelganger.
The yellowish face, or chewing gum head with like the black veins shot through it. Yes, exactly. You get I like this version of a doppelganger. It's, instead of just the white eyes, you get the flailing kind of monster coming at him. It's just craziness. You said all hell breaks loose. The floor goes bananas. Like, it starts shifting around. Like, the tile floors break apart. It opens up into what looks like water, and Cooper goes falling through it, and the doppelganger arm screams non-existent. It's just fucking mind-blowing. This entire scene is just bananas. I love it. Go back. There's a ton of stuff I'm sure that is important here.
Yeah. So the I don't know, the Cooper passing into that new section, you hear that same sound. So the first time he goes through, scratching sound, he's not allowed in. He goes back. He looks. He eventually gets to Leland Palmer, who's saying like, "Find Laura."
Find Laura.
And then once he hears that fine lore, he's able to go back, and you hear that same scratching sound, which the scratching sounds are reminiscent to me of like the record player that we're told to listen to. And now he can pass through. And at this point, like when he goes out and something's not right. Like even him going through that door and you hear the scratching sounds, like Mike feels what we all feel.
Some Phoenix burn.
Yeah.
Like something is wrong. And at that point, you're reminded before like that statue reveal from the arm, like my doppelganger. You're like, oh yes, he's got a doppelganger too. The one that yelled doppelganger at us in episode 29.
Right.
And Cooper opening the curtains and you see like the real world from above with Mr. C coming. It's like, for me, it's like they're supposed to overlap. That's why he's there and he's coming, and it's supposed to be a swap.
Yeah.
And then Cooper will be in the car and Mr. C will be back in the lodge. But this is when shit goes crazy and that statue becomes the doppelganger. So is a doppelganger working with Mr. C or just causing havoc? And then you watch like a 2D world go to 3D, which is so cool. Like the floor becomes 3-dimensional. Like it goes from a flat plane and like we're multi-dimensional. We're changing dimensions. We're going from this world into a whole other world. We're getting to 4th dimension, 5th dimension, all these crazy scientific ideas. And the non-existent in the subtitles, exist is separate from non and ENT. Like it's very cool to have in that one word, non-existent, you have the word exist and non-existent at the same time, two things that are occurring that shouldn't. I love it. It's very cool. So now Cooper's going to fall through that world and he lands in the glass box in New York during the events that occurred in part 1. He's not going to last long. Before the Watchers return with their coffees, Cooper is sent into like a void. But for a brief moment, we are back in time. So when he says, when can I go back? You can go back in the previous episode, or you're supposed to be going back in the previous episode. So yeah, talk about the box.
Well, Cooper falling that sequence of falling through whatever this is, this space, this blackness, water bubble, like it's visually incredible, and it's this shaking the entire time, so you can't even get your bearings at all. Just like Cooper is kind of just flying through this void, and it's the way that he lands face first with a thud on the outside of the glass box is great. It just smushed face against the plot. They hold that for a few seconds before he kind of dematerializes, like almost osmosis through the glass and into the box.
Very, very cool.
Are there making of scenes where he's just floating in the box there? Because I love the way that he's
you should watch all. I don't
watch it.
I don't remember specifically that scene, although it could be there because I haven't watched all of it in a while. But
So
the behind the
good.
scenes stuff is great.
So we have Cooper. If it is done practically with like Colin McLaughlin on wires, I'm just imagining between takes how much fun he must be having. It might be a pain in the butt, but I'm just really imagining like this is really cool. Anyway, Cooper's floating there in the box. This is when Sam and Tracy are in the hallway. There's the missing guard, missing everybody in the building, perhaps. So we get a repeat of that scene, so we see what happens. Then everything shakes and kind of desaturates. It kind of almost goes black and white. And I love this, like, it's almost an expression of multidimensionality. Like, we can't visualize what the 4th and 5th dimensions look like. This is kind of, to me, like what this is trying to represent as it kind of shrinks in on itself. And I love that it goes shrinks, comes back in, the smaller. It's again, this idea, like to me, I don't know, I'm sure it wasn't, but it feels like almost this analog version of like these special effects. They don't look super high tech, but they're super effective. And then there's other scenes that are like completely like mind blowing. Like it's just these, you can do so much with so little, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And just as it's shrinking down, you see Cooper get smaller and smaller. And then it completely vanishes in that white light and Cooper is back in the blackness again. It's just an incredible scene. And I love that we're going back in time again and seeing that scene again. So, where is he? When is he? How did he arrive there? And like, is he actually there? Like, what does it mean that he's flying through the void like this? It's great. Was he captured on, like, is this what the box was designed for? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, you have to ask yourself, why is the box intended as a trap?
And why there? It's just great. So It's not really even all that clear when we first see this scene in New York that the box is really projecting out into the city. Like, it's not just a window, but it's actually jutting out. So they kind of like almost like like as you said, like a trap to catch something and suck it in like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, time is such an interesting concept. Like, just the fact that we're placing Cooper in the past of the show before the events. Like, if you haven't figured out, this is the moment when the guard is missing. So it's like this is also timed to when all of the guards were gone, and it's for him to for this woman to come in. So like all these things are kind of happening at the same time, which is curious. You talked about the box. You have to. Is this designed? Did the owner of the box is a specific location and time and space designed to? Do they know it's connected to this other world and designed to trap an entity like Cooper in it? I love the sound of when Cooper is in the box and you hear like the machinery of the universe buckling. Like it's all going to just completely break down. And for me, that's because like there's two Coopers in the universe at the same time, right? And it goes full Formica tabletop with all of you start like showing all the layers as we go deeper or smaller and smaller and smaller. All these stacked realities on top of each other is so cool. Like this stuff gets into like a lot of cool cosmology and physics and like multidimensional stuff and parallel universes, and all of that stuff is like going on here visually in a way that's so interesting. You talked about it being maybe lower tech or something, but it works so well.
So
like,
well.
It's exactly how, like, even the floor going up and down that we've seen, like this flat floor to going 3-dimensional. It's a simple effect, but it shows like the breakdown of physics, or the changing of physics, or the mutation of physics from dimension to dimension, and the way that they do that stacking is just wonderful. It's really, really.
And the sound too is like chunk 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 chunk. It's like this really heavy, like it's just really cool. Yeah.
The extreme close up of Cooper in that black starry space reminds me of like the episode 29 script, which this is from the episode 29 script. Start close on Agent Cooper, his face filled with wonder. He occupies a dark space, limitless. So I think about like how they wanted to do the Black Lodge here, and you kind of get it finally in the return. All right, so speaking of returning, let's return to the Palmer home, where Sarah is going to watch lions take down an ox in a very, your usual Thursday night TV. Must-see TV.
This is just a room of sadness. It is so beautifully done. It is just complete despair, this room. It's this massive TV where we're, like you said, we're watching this like nature documentary in black and white, and you see the lions taking down an ox or a huge animal there. Sarah's watching it, chain smoking. She's got the ashtray next to her. On the table is completely full of just junk, but also Bloody Mary mix and vodka. So she's just sitting there pouring warm Bloody Marys, I guess. Sitting there drinking. Just in the back, you do see. It looks like Laura's photo in the back. I didn't zoom in on this, but photo in the background. But otherwise, it just feels like everything's kind of just nothing has changed. It's kind of this. She's been stuck there all this time. Behind her, there's the 3 mirrors, so it's reflecting the TV. So just around her is just this images of violence behind her and in front of her, and she's just I don't know. Drawn into it and fascinated with it, but just completely stuck motionless in this. It's just so upsetting and depressing to see this, what's happened to Sarah.
Yeah, I get a much darker feel from Sarah in this particular scene. Like, the scene is just wild. Like, the darkness and the mirrors, like, you see this savagery reflected in the mirror. This is the same couch and mirror where we saw Bob's face in the pilot, at the end of the pilot. And for me, it just makes me think differently of Sarah and who she may be now, or what's going on with her, because she's just surrounded. And we know mirrors. We're constantly seeing mirrors as reflections of ourselves and our darker reflection. and seeing Sarah here watching this savagery, and then seeing the savagery in the mirror, and the tables littered with booze, and just as Mr. C's accomplices, all of their tables, every room that we've seen, was littered with booze, not unlike this room. And the animal attacks, and just watching that makes me think, I think in Wild at Heart, Harry Dean Stanton is watching similar footage in his motel room. But I don't know, I get a dark vibe.
So you see it more sinister than sadness.
Yes, like something's dark is with Sarah Palmer at this point. And especially those mirrors, because that's the mirror we saw Bob in. And like now it's in all of the mirrors. It's in all 3 mirrors. So
I thought the mirror was by the front door the first. Yeah, but was the mirror by the front door the first time we see Bob in Leland? As he's like straightening his tie?
No, I'm talking about Sarah. I'm talking about in the pilot when Sarah goes... And Bob is in the mirror. It's like the first appearance of Bob on...
Oh, I got you. Yes. I'm recalling now from that conversation that didn't actually see him. And you told me that happened. And I was like, oh my God, I missed it. So like that's why it didn't trigger for me.
Yeah. He was caught by mistake.
The serendipity, man, it's great. Wow, okay. But seeing it with that darker, sinister undertone is really interesting.
It's such a savage scene.
It feels very conflicting, but for me, it just felt like such despair and just kind of giving into it. But yeah, totally makes sense too.
All right, so we're going to end in the Roadhouse where the Chromatics are going to play Shadow. Among the patrons, Shelley and her friends do shots, and James arrives with a friend.
Yeah, James has a younger British friend, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Freddie Sykes.
The guy thinks the place looks pretty cool. Roadhouse is still kicking, man. It's got a younger, hip clientele going there. We got to find out that Shelley has a daughter named Becky, who's with a guy that she doesn't approve of, named Steven. So it's nice to catch up with the characters a little bit and see what's going on with them. Shelley should know from being with the wrong guy, so trust your intuition there, Shelley. James just staring at them the entire time. We find out that he was in a motorcycle accident and he's just quiet now, but he's still cool.
Yep.
Poor James, just staring at her with longing. Who was the guy that gives Shelley finger guns from the bar?
Red. Balthazar Getty is the actor who was in Lost Highway, but his character, they don't say his name, but we'll see him again. His name Red.
Okay, so it's not someone we're supposed to know yet. Okay, I didn't know if it was someone I just missed, but got it.
Yeah, it's played by Balthazar Getty.
Gotcha.
Who, by the way, I don't know if you knew, Balthazar Getty is of the Gettys, which I never knew. I never knew that he was like of the Gettys. So
I did not know that either.
Wealthy fella, I guess, or wealthy family from a wealthy family. Love Lost Highway. Imagine that, like you're like a 20-something-year-old and you're a Getty.
Yeah.
And then you're like doing David Lynch films.
Sure.
And it's cool because you probably never have to do anything else, like ever.
Or you could be, a Vanderbilt and you're hosting news on the CNN for decades. Yeah. So yeah, these things happen.
I'll take Lost Highway.
Must be very, very luck, I guess. It has a lot to do with it. But behind the bar, behind Mr. Fingerguns, whose name I guess we don't know yet, we got someone who looks suspiciously like Jacques.
Yeah, that's another Renault. Yeah, Jean-Michel.
The one thing I did kind of look up, I don't know if this is true, but this is the thing I read, is that David Lynch was giving him some work. The actor had some hard times, some medical bills, something like that, and gave him a part in this and invented a new Renault brother. Either way, don't care. Love to see him in the background. I really had to rewind and double check. It's like, am I actually seeing Jacques there? Just exciting to see him. The actor, if not the character, on the screen again. And then we do end with the first of what we'll see as a series of incredible guests at the Roadhouse. Pretty big get for a small town in the Pacific Northwest. And I just want to mention after the credits, at the end, it does say in memory of Frank Silva, which was very touching too.
Yeah, it was nice to see that. So you got that. We got a part 1 dedication, you get a part 2 in memorial.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's what I got.
I love the Chromatics, so this was a real treat. Johnny Jewel, who's in the band on bass here, he provides music for The Return. One of my favorite songs in The Return is called Windswept, which we'll get to, which if you hear it, you're like, oh, this is an Angelo Badalamenti piece. But no, It's actually Johnny Jewel. James
cool.
Hurley, you mentioned Rise with Freddie Sykes. He's played by Jake Wardell. And of course, we know James Hurley is James Marshall. I love when he orders 2 ice-cold colonials.
Yeah.
Which, of course, they got to be ice cold. Like, don't give me no lukewarm colonial. Shelley, again, you talked about her recognizing something's wrong with Becky because she's with the wrong guy. But she literally is making the same mistake, talking to this freaking finger gun who you know is not a good guy.
No.
I mean, you just tell right away that he's a bad dude. And it's like, did you not learn anything? And it's also sad because the last time we saw them, Bobby was proposing to her.
Yeah.
We know she has a kid.
Yeah.
So, like, but she's also looking at this guy. So what does that mean for her relationship with Bobby? Are they still married? Did they get divorced? What's going on? I feel so bad for James getting made fun of by her friend. So she's with her friend Renee, who's played by Jessica Soar. I think I'm saying her name right. James has the eyes for her. And like that one woman is like, oh, there's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and Shelley's saying there's nothing wrong with him. He was in a motorcycle accident. He's just quiet now.
Yeah.
But James is cool. He's always been cool. Feels like to me like justice for James.
Yes.
Like Lynch and Frost are like, no, he gets beat up so much from Twin Peaks fans. It's not his fault that he had to fix a car. And I like that they put that in there. I think that's very cool.
100% felt like meta commentary to me. And I was here for it. Absolutely fine to see that. Yeah.
I don't have anything else other than what we talked about with Jacques. Or
so
Jean-Michel Renault.
Jean-Michel.
I had mentioned there was still another Renault brother.
Oh, yeah, you did. Okay.
This is the last Renault brother that we will come across. Or he's not a brother. I think he's like a cousin or something.
A cousin. Identical cousins like Maddie.
They're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, too. The song is called Shadow. So,
yeah, it's a beautiful song. I'm not really familiar with them, the Chromatics, but
they're great. They did a song in Drive. If you've seen them film Drive, they did a song on.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All their albums are great. I recommend them.
Yeah. It was a very cool performance. And she also has, like, as a blonde singer like that just makes me think of Julie Cruz as well. So just to have the first band there, yeah, it just feels like, okay, this fits thematically with what you expect from the Roadhouse. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's that dream pop and as I said, like when we get to the music that he provides, it's 100% in this universe.
It's beautiful.
All right, so that's it for part 2. Next time on Meanwhile, we will do part 3. And we'll keep doing parts until there's no more parts.
We'll probably even do them in order. So that'll be great.
We'll do them in order. Nothing but parts.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, good night.
Until next time.
Peace. Thank you for listening to the Meanwhile podcast with Dan Johnson and Eric Grissom. If you would like to support the Meanwhile podcast, join our Patreon. It's available right now. You can sign up, and for just a few dollars a month, you can keep this show going, and you can get access to some exclusive podcasts and some secret stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. So if you'd like to join, go to ericgrissom.com/meanwhile and look for the Patreon link. If you like our show, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this now. Meanwhile is produced by Eric Grissom and Where's My Robots? The Meanwhile theme song is written and performed by Paul Finn and Evening Pines. If you want to let us know what you thought of the show, you can reach Dan at danjnj.com, both on the web and on Blue Sky. Eric can be found on Blue Sky at ericgrissom.com, which is also his website. It's also me, right? That's weird. We'll see you again, and in the meantime, be good.
Listen to the sounds.
Meanwhile.